GM.
Well, GMs. Well, GMs, the people out there.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in on this fine Thursday. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great, man. Feeling good. Feeling energized, ready to lock in on
You're always
some.
feeling great. I like the optimism.
Of course, man. Of course. You gotta keep it. You gotta keep it positive out here.
I agree.
You know.
We're both on the optimism positivity train, so
Absolutely.
appreciate that. And yeah, thanks for everyone for tuning in again. Upfront disclaimer: this is not financial advice, and everything we talk about is just our personal opinions. So don't take anything we say too seriously, just information. But yeah, we like when you guys get into the live chat. So if you guys have stuff to say, we want to hear your feedback. Yeah, let's get into it. I guess like this week, as other weeks have been a little bit tough in the DeFi world. The biggest thing that happened this past week here has been this. I hesitate to even call it an Aave exploit. It was kelped out, I guess. So basically, what happened was, it was the biggest exploit of 2026. Some attacker minted $293 million of this RS ETH, and then with that, they used it as collateral to take out like what is now like over $200 million worth of bad debt, and try to extract that from the system, basically. And again, I want to throw out another disclaimer that like we are big fans of Aave, like at Superseed. Like we are basically building on the shoulders of giants. So like I don't want to like put Aave in a bad light. They spend like millions and millions of dollars every single year, like on security and on research and development, and these things are difficult. In hindsight, they look a little bit more obvious, but they're difficult situations to deal with. And yeah, I mean, all we can do is try to learn from these exploits and try to make sure that we mitigate them and make sure that they can happen in the future. But yeah, like just to give everyone like a rundown. So basically, like I said, like these attackers like minted this 293 million of like fake collateral, used it as collateral to take out this bad debt and extract it from the system. So yeah, pretty brutal, but there's definitely some like learnings to be had from this situation. I wanted to kind of share this. This is, I don't know if he still goes by Chainlink God. I guess that is his handle.
Theology.
Zach, yeah. Zach from the Chainlink community there. So yeah, like basically what happened, just to kind of boil it down from more of a technical perspective, was like people like mint these tokens on layer 0, or using layer 0, and they have like you can set up a configuration for these like decentralized verifier networks. And unfortunately, there was some like research that came out that like 49% of the tokens that are minted on layer like through this layer 0 protocol use like a 1 of 1 DVN configuration. What this means is that like basically they sign messages saying that like everything's legit, and the tokens, you get to kind of decide like how many of these like nodes, I guess you would call them, from this decentralized verifier network. Do you need to verify this? And unfortunately, like 49% of these tokens just have like these 1 of 1 setups, meaning that only one of these nodes needs to verify. And that's what happened here. Is like it was just one of these RPCs or nodes or whatever got compromised. And like basically because of that, they signed off saying that this 293 million of fake collateral was legit, and that's basically how this exploit happened. So yeah, pretty sad. But like the good thing, I don't want to say good thing, but like there's definitely like things we can learn from this, and this is why like at Superseed our our upcoming money market has been a little bit delayed. We're taking security very, very seriously, especially with all the exploits that are happening. And there's definitely some learnings that we can learn from this. And I know that Aave is going through this, and they're learning a lot also. And hopefully we can build back and build DeFi in a stronger way, because like we are still very early, and if we can build things back in a proper way, there's still trillions and trillions to be onboarded. And like one thing that, for example, that we could do with the Super C money market is like only allow token configurations that have like more than one of these nodes that like as a configuration. So you need at least maybe like only the only tokens that we're going to list have like 3-to-1 or greater configurations. Like just to give like one solid example of some learnings that we are learning from this also. But yeah, what are your thoughts on all this? Pretty sad news.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in there. First of all, I would say, obviously there's like a failure or mistake when these things happen, but a lot of the time, especially for something like this, I mean, we've said it's like the biggest hack of the year, or maybe even Aave's history. But in terms of what Aave outputs, I'm sure they'll be fine,
Yeah,
given their size. So, it's good. Sometimes it's good to have this happen to someone like Aave, because I feel like they are in a position to be able to recover funds, to be able to continue and still, be productive in the space without just everything exploding. So in terms of that,
that's
I'm sure they'll be fine. They'll learn, and everybody learns from something like this. So it's generally okay.
that's a great
In
take.
terms of yeah, in terms of risk and security parameters, I mean, you brought up a good point. Like risk, especially now in this day and age of AI exploits, which we've seen way, 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 way more in the last few months. The main thing that people need to care about right now has become security. I think you can't really just get away with like, oh well, look, it's worked out and we have some audits, and probably nothing will happen. You really need a good system for each protocol, understanding every single risk parameter. Something simple like what was the problem for this previous exploit, having one person that is able to make approvals. Something like this needs to be understood by everybody who is investing in a project, and that's not always something that people want to market. That's not always something that people want to show off. It's like, oh, actually we have the lowest risk parameter. Like, okay, do you have the most interesting markets? Do you have the most incentives? Do you have the most liquidity? Those are the things that people care about right now in the market. But I think as we see more exploits, clearly the thing that will matter the most is security, as it becomes a heightened issue. So I mean, being early to that is probably really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that like Aave again spends millions and millions of dollars every single year, like on research and development, on security, on audits, and like so it's difficult. It's really really difficult to have this, especially with stuff like Mythos coming out and all. Like AI is definitely speeding up the process of these exploits and really making like it's tough for protocols that are live right now because like yeah, they have to do like invest even more into it with AI right now. But I think that's a very good take that you had around the fact that like it's a good thing that it happens to something like Aave because like now Stani and like the Aave team, like it says here, they can put every bit of their energy right now into like focusing on a good outcome for the users and the protocol. And if anyone can do it, it's them. They have a lot of resources to do it. They have a lot of yeah resources. They have a large team. They have a lot of like assets under management. Despite this, so I like if anyone can handle it, it's them. Um, Another interesting tidbit was that like everybody knows like Arbitrum, I believe, is still a stage one roll up at this point, which means that they have a little bit of they're not fully decentralized. There's some centralization still involved in the process. And because of that, they actually used that to their advantage, and they froze and recovered 70 million from the hackers. So that can be used to like generate like some sort of a good outcome and give that back to the protocol and the users to help kind of nullify some of this bad debt. But I know that they're focused on some other stuff also. So yeah, I mean, we hope that like Aave comes out of this ahead. I'm sure they will. I'm sure that like they're going to be stronger and better because of this. And like just so everybody knows, like our upcoming money market, you can call it a money market, but it's not a money market in the same sense that that Aave is. Like Aave will actually be one of our like top providers, like within it's better called like a strategy protocol. Like it's a strategy marketplace, and Aave will be like one of the bigger providers in there. We still have like the utmost like confidence in them that they're going to recover from this and everything's going to be fine on the other side of this. So yeah, like we're wishing them the best for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there is, yeah, I'm sure they'll be fine, you know, and appreciate the lesson as always. Like,
Yeah,
it does matter as well a lot because I mean we've seen this happen to other people and they've had to just shut down operations, you know. Um,
yeah, absolutely.
so that's not
Like
the
you can see,
outcome that anybody wants, really.
yeah, you can see here, like Aave's shed about $10 billion in TVL since this incident, um, which sucks, but they still have a lot, um, and like so far it's been a negative $9 billion outflow because like a billion of that has flowed into another like protocol. So yeah, this money still moves around, but in the grand scheme of things, I guess like one thing I wanted to point out was that like yeah, it is a lot of money. $10 billion is a lot of money of outflows, but in the grand scheme of things, we still have trillions and trillions and trillions sitting on the sidelines waiting to be onboarded into DeFi. So there's still like a huge total addressable market TAM ahead for us, and yeah, we're hoping to help to be contributors that help bring those trillions into the market. And again, we're building on the shoulders of giants like Aave, and yeah, like I think Aave will get this right, and they will continue to help onboard a lot of that into the DeFi market in the future. I mean, we're all on the same team. We all want to onboard the TradFi market onto DeFi and crypto rails. So and then, so yeah, that's where we're headed.
For sure. Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. I'm out of like any protocol in DeFi, I think you know Aave is up there with ones that I would expect to survive and still thrive after. So
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, another thing I wanted to point out is that like these exploits that have been happening is not just in crypto. Um,
oh
oh,
no.
sorry, that's not the one I wanted to bring up here. Um, sorry, one sec here. But yeah, no, I'm sure you've heard. Oh, here it is. I'm sure you heard like all the other exploits that have been going on. Like last week and the week before, there was Versal, which
Mm-hmm.
was a huge one, and then this past week was Lovable, another one. So like very bad for the vibe coding community. Two big exploits, and this is kind of just like hitting home the point that like, hey, this is not just DeFi, this is not just crypto that is um, like getting hammered by this like AI wave that's happening right now and speeding up the wave of these exploits. It's TradFi, it's the traditional like Web 2 world also. Like it's wild out there right now. And I guess to put a more positive take on it, I would say that like yeah, right now um, AI is speeding up the process of these like vulnerabilities and hacks, but eventually like these high powered AIs like Mythos are also going to be in the hands of the builders and the developers, and then we can use it to build better systems also. So that's what we're focused on right now is just yeah building better systems using these AI tools also.
Yeah, I mean there's probably an asymmetry in the market right now where there's there's better bug finding tools than there's bug fixing tools.
Yeah.
People still haven't totally been able to use these AIs yet to codify their code base to an extent where it's like better than your best security researchers, you know what I mean? But
Hmm.
they have been able to mass find bugs. That might be the case for a while just because of the nature of how bugs work and how security works. But you know, at some point, the evolution becomes everybody has the AI that does both jobs better, and they just keep developing those, and then you'll see better security for sure as a product of the AI is improving. You know, it'll be kind of out of our hands, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, like like you said, like I think this is just like one of the waves that it goes through. Like, unfortunately, like the incentive is on finding the bugs right now, and that attracts white hat hackers that who do it for the good. It also attracts, unfortunately, black hat hackers who are usually the quickest um, adopters, I guess, of early technology. So yeah, yeah, it's unfortunate, but like eventually the tables are going to turn, and then we're going to be able to use these uh, new tools to build way more robust systems. So
Yeah. I mean, this is also healthy. Like, you do want some level of like, hey, if your product is broken and an AI is gonna figure it out in a few days or weeks, like that's not a good thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's not good to get exploited, but it's also not good that you can be exploited. So we do need to go through a period where security just changes a lot. I expect that might actually become one of the biggest spending factors for some of these tech companies because they really have to hammer down like risk parameters and understanding their exposure, I guess, to risk.
yeah, exactly. And like we've been talking about, like there's just so much to learn from this, and to be implemented to like build stronger, more robust systems. Andre I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Cronje. He's a longtime
Cronge.
developer in the crypto. Is it
Yeah,
Cronje? Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
basically like
really.
for anyone that doesn't know, like he is the like co-creator or founder of Wi-Fi. Uh, so and like many other Sonic also, and now his new project, Flying Tulip. Um, he's a yeah well-known developer in the space, and like yeah, he's also like learning from this experience, and he came up with like a semi-cool idea, like implementing these circuit breaker mechanisms into DeFi lending, so that it kind of early detects these patterns and allows teams like a little bit like more time to like react and um, basically like this would like slow down withdrawals during these like higher response periods, and then the team can like respond faster and try to protect user capital faster. Just one other example of like something that could be done and some learnings that we could learn from this. But yeah, there's a lot more. I know our developer team is like looking into these and learning from them, and yeah, there's a lot more that we can do to make it more robust.
For sure. Yeah, we gotta stay on top of stuff like this, and it's always cool to see people like Andre still in the game. You know?
Yes, he's always out there.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know if you've seen this, but like again, like this is these exploits. They're not only happening like with hacks, but people are just like using AI and or like figuring out like different ways to. People are always trying to find different ways to like exploit systems. Um, Unfortunately, like when the incentives are like lined up that way, that this is the result. But this was a pretty funny story, and I'm sure Polymarket will learn from this and like set up better systems also. But like basically, what happened was I don't know if you've seen, but like on Polymarket, there's been this new trend about like people betting on just like daily temperatures, and trying to make money from that.
Yeah.
And some guy figured out that how they're calculating the temperature in Paris is based on a single sensor that's at an airport in Paris. So basically, what he did, and
Really?
yeah, and it's completely unguarded. So basically, what he did was like waited for it to like go up to like near 100%, and then like shorted the market, basically like bet against this outcome that would have happened, and then went to the airport, found the sensor, and used a blow dryer to heat up the sensor,
No way.
uh, to and basically made like $34,000 by manipulating the sensor and like shorting this market, which was
That's hilarious.
which is hilarious, but like also like just wild. Just like yeah, finding like these little vulnerabilities in systems is kind of the common theme right now.
I mean, yeah, that is crazy. But yeah, markets always do stuff like this where they just incentivize people to find the most random things, and it's just a cool story, I guess. Probably a lot more of this going to happen though, and there's a lot of risk like this as well to systems that people don't really consider. Like again, single point of failure, as
Yeah,
with the
exactly.
other ones.
That's the common theme. We have to yeah try to reduce those, learn from these, reduce single points of failure, and all that sort of jazz. Yeah. Anyways, despite all of that, the macro markets are, I hesitate to say, like starting to show signs of a little bit more bullishness, despite the fact that we're still in like one of the most uncertain times in history. Um, Shared a similar chart last time, but just to kind of update everybody where we're at, like the current world uncertainty index is like smashing all-time high levels. We've never seen this much uncertainty before, not during the dot-com bubble, not during the global financial crisis, not during the pandemic. We're just like shooting up way past that. So yeah, when you pile all this stuff together, it definitely messes with sentiment, messes with people's like hope for the future, which is sad. But it's surprising how fast things can turn around, how fast sentiment switches.
I mean, I would say it's less about people's hope and more about people's expectation. Like a lot of the time, the market is pricing in a lot of expectation, and the market is just at least under this administration, a little bit more volatile,
Yeah,
and uncertain.
definitely.
And that's not necessarily a thing about like, oh, well, every market is dead because, prices are down. It's just people don't have a lot of certainty to make a commitment, to make investment. So it just becomes, a little bit more risk off across the
Yeah,
board. So,
yeah, absolutely. And my argument is that like I believe that sentiment, like it always switches super fast. Like if you even remember back to pre-October 2025, which was not too long ago, just some months ago, like the whole sentiment was like much more bullish. People were like very excited, including myself, that like the Clarity Act was hopefully going to pass and 2026 was going to be a very bullish year. And yeah, like
mm,
there was animal spirits in the markets, and then all of a sudden the crash in October happened and the sentiment just completely turned around and it's been kind of down ever since. And people have a hard time kind of remembering what
the good
bullishness
times.
feels like and remembering
Yeah,
the good times, like when things go bad. And it kind of feels like it's always going to like it's always going to stay this way. But things shift very, very fast, just like things shifted very fast from bullish to bearish. Things shift very fast from bearish to bullish also. And there's like so much bullish news still like coming out just constantly. Like the whole US administration right now is like using like crypto technology. Like the Treasury Secretary Besant says that crypto is technology the world is adopting, and it's very clear that the world is adopting that. Um, just look what's happening with Polymarket. Like people like forget that like Polymarket is like a global phenomenon right now, and it's built on crypto. And like things like liquid are like also becoming like very like highly adopted, and these are all built on crypto rails. Um, It's just the asset prices are just not reflected in this bullishness, unfortunately, right now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as we've said so many times, the thing you have to kind of look for is the like fundamentals that are changing. And we had the Clarity Act, we had like legislation trying to be passed, some already passed. We have all these integrations with major companies. Like I'm pretty sure this week we saw DoorDash accept stablecoins for payments on their app. So like you just
I didn't
continue
see
to
that.
see
That's
these
well.
things. Yeah, I saw a headline about this. I mean we could double check maybe, but the more you have integration like this passively, the more the space is actually meaningful. At least stablecoins and payments. That's always kind of been the biggest um, draw, I think, for a lot of real institutions. But it's
Yeah, like
always
we
good
talked
for
about
Bitcoin
past. Yeah,
and all
like
the
we talked
rest.
about past weeks. Like yeah, stablecoins is just an up only trend. Same with tokenization. It's much smaller still than stablecoins, but tokenization is happening at a rapid pace and in a up only trend also. And all this is like you see headlines like the Nasdaq is wanting to tokenize stocks and make them trade 24/7, and like different, like I believe the CMS also, and like all these like big institutions, like the new Fed chair nominee Kevin Warsh. I don't know if you've seen, but like he had his nomination hearing, and like he admitted that crypto is now like an integral part of the U.S. financial system,
I
and
did
like
see that.
yeah, and like he had to also disclose his like holdings to become the Fed chair, and like he's holding like a bunch of crypto stocks and like actual like cryptocurrencies also. So like that's pretty bullish. Like he's going to become the next Fed chair. I think that's the first time in history that the Fed chair is like this bullish on crypto. So that's pretty cool to see. That's another like big event, and yeah, hopefully this Clarity Act still passes here soon. There's just yeah a lot of things to be excited about.
Yeah, for sure. And there's like sometimes there's also lull states. Like you can't expect massive changes in the market. Even if you look at previous cycles, like how long did we stay in like a kind of nothing state for a while, like a lull state? And things very slowly changed before a big up move. It's like that's kind of the nature of crypto market, I think.
It's definitely the nature of crypto markets. Like we showed this last week. I'll show it again, but like we're stuck down here, and the Bitcoin is dead. We've actually moved up into the fire sale category now. But like this happens cycle after cycle after cycle. We're always down here. Sometimes we can stay down here a while, like we did after COVID. But like things recover, and historically, at least, not financial advice, and like past performance doesn't always indicate future performance, but like at least like during every single cycle in crypto history so far, we've spent a lot of time down in these zones, and it's always recovered. So just have to be patient, think long term, and I think yeah, like good times are coming ahead still.
Yeah, I mean the wisdom that's been around for like a long time in cryptos just applies just as great today.
Absolutely.
Buy with a small percentage that you can afford, hold. Don't even think about the markets for too long,
Yeah,
too
dollar
much,
cost average,
because
and think long
you're
term.
gonna get like baited into making like short-term decisions by people if you're like super active, I think. So
Absolutely, completely agree. Anyways, moving on to the more AI crypto convergence. On the AI side of things, so I don't know if you've seen this, but this was very interesting. Bankless was talking about it. Anthropic said that Mythos was too dangerous to release, and then apparently, I don't know if you've seen this, but like some private Discord group, like a essentially like they guessed the link and like used some contractors' credentials to like sign in and apparently gained access to Mythos. So that's
that's
pretty
really crazy.
wild if true. Wild if true.
For sure. I mean, it is absurd that you see stuff like this. Um, but I mean, can you imagine someone like having Mythos right now in the way that it's actually been marketed and just going to town on some of these like on these websites,
Yeah,
some of these apps? It's like, oh,
I mean, the real funny, ironic thing here is that like they apparently gained access to Mythos and then just didn't use it to like hack anyone or do anything bad. They just were building websites.
that would be something.
They were just building, yeah, simple websites. It's that's hilarious, anyways. But like, who knows? A lot of people are speculating that like the whole like fear around Mythos has been like way overhyped. I mean, like OpenAI is supposed to be releasing their new 5.5, I think, called Spud, and they're kind of claiming the same things as Anthropic was now, saying that it's like a big security
It's gonna ruin
threat
the
and
world.
all that, yeah, all
No.
that sort of stuff. So it's hard to know what's real and what's not anymore. It's definitely a marketing tactic that has been used. So who knows if that's being used again? Hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to. I mean, one thing that I think we've had to like figure out as well in the last few months is tapering expectations a bit for these releases. At least with Anthropic, like it's true that they have the best models, or at least like some of the best, but you know, there's a difference between the world is ending and I have the frontier model, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
and yeah. Like speaking of that, like I don't know if I wanted to get your like pick your brain a bit up because I don't know too much about this, but like for people that are setting up like agents and stuff like that, there's been like the whole drama this past couple weeks around OpenClaw or sorry Anthropic kind of like cutting off access to using OpenClaw with your Anthropic unless you use the API, basically, which makes it just like super, super expensive. So a lot of people are like switching over to Hermes, which is like a competitor to OpenClaw, and apparently it uses like way less token output and is much cheaper. So yeah, there's been just a lot of drama around that, and people like switching models and all that. So I don't know. Have you tried out Hermes? Has I'd love
I
to know
have,
if
I
you've
have.
been yeah,
I have.
how is
It's decent. I mean, it takes a long time to just figure everything out and set things up properly. As is the case with OpenClaw as well.
yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, at this point, the thing that people kind of care about the most is just like automated tasks with these harnesses, right? Like, if you want to code, if you want to build something, you can do that with Claude Code. The only loss that you have is that you can't have the system running all day long. But now with scheduled tasks, like you can. So just setting up cron jobs via Claude is kind of what I've been doing, and then just using Claude code, using
yeah,
my own like terminal that I built because that's just it's more effective. It's just more, I don't know, in my experience, it's more productive. Claude code is just excellent. Like I will say, using other like harnesses and stuff, they just don't compare in terms of how good they are.
yeah,
Um,
and it's a lot more secure also using it just like through the CLI or, um, yeah, just using Claude Code as opposed to like OpenClaw that has like pretty much access to your entire system. But apparently Hermes is a little bit better, but I'm not exactly sure. I'm not too in depth into
Hermes
into
has certain
Hermes.
features. So, I mean, you're gonna see this with like all of these harnesses. Hermes has features that allow you to like self-improve. It basically takes a lot of what exists already for like skills, I guess, and like some of the additives that people use for their agents, and then just integrates them directly instead of you having to um I don't know, like figure out how to do like skill self-improvement, for example. It'll just do that automatically for you. So I mean, it is faster.
That's
Um,
interesting.
and it
Yeah,
can be. It's probably is cheaper. I mean, someone made a measure of like how bloated OpenClaw was, and it's like extremely ridiculously bloated in terms of, because I think he used Claude Code to develop OpenClaw, right? So as with all Claude creations, it tends to not be as efficient as it could be generally. So,
Yeah, I know.
Hermes I think is built out by like a research lab, an AI research lab, and some of those people seem a bit more sophisticated maybe. But I mean, you're gonna see this like harnesses. There's gonna be competition for harnesses, um, and I mean security is gonna be really important, and user experience can be really important. And we need some time for that to really be iterated on. Just Hermes and OpenClaw is not probably enough, I would guess.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's other competitors like Perplexities, like with their World Computer, whatever it is, um, that's coming out or is out now.
Mhm.
Yeah, like you said, like there's going to be a big fight to like kind of gain the user, because like eventually long term everyone's probably going to have their own AI agent, like working for them, with them, or agents plural, as like employees basically. It's just a matter of like, yeah, how is this going to get set up? Is it going to be OpenClaw that wins the majority? Is it going to be Hermes? Is it going to be Perplexity? Is it going to be, or people like now Claude Code is like very much like putting out basically all the features that you can just do it directly from Claude Code, and you don't have to like set up one of these like systems that like has full access to your entire computer. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a fight that goes on over this. But yeah, great thing about open markets is it's great for the end consumer because you get like the best tools for the best prices in the end. It just takes a little while to get there.
Right. So, I'm optimistic. I mean, we're still only a few months into this whole thing. I will say it seems a little bit like some of the hype that we are seeing from January, February has kind of tapered off a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, even personally, I feel like people have kind of got an idea. There's a lot of like, nah, there's a lot of just, um, you had to kind of figure out what Claude Code was and what its capabilities were. And I think a lot of that has kind of been figured in the short term, figured out. So I think releases have maybe slightly dropped in terms of things that are like super, super, super um, new, I guess.
Yeah,
Super like crazy. There's no open cloud drop. There's no new crazy harness. There's no new crazy like video model as much. There's no new crazy coding model. It's just like marginal improvement for the last couple of weeks. I remember
I mean,
4.5 versus 4.6 was like such a huge jump, and then now it doesn't seem like people are that crazy about 4.7, besides maybe for
it's
design.
a yeah, and yeah, for design, I think there's been a little bit of a step up. But yeah, for coding, I don't think 4.6 to 4.7 was like a huge leap or anything. I think I think Anthropic was just a little bit desperate to put something out because of all the Mythos hype and not allowing the public to use that. So they had to had to give the public something. So
Right.
I don't think it was like a huge leap or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, every new technology, even like in the micro or in the macro, goes through the same kind of like S curve adoption. So like you get like these big leaps, and then it kind of levels off, and then another big leap. So like and same with adoption, same with like how the technologies are released, and same with how people adopt those technologies. Like you always get like the very early innovators, and then there's a little bit of hype around that, and then it trails off a bit, and then you get like another big adopter phase. So I think that that's coming, and that's where like us at Superseed are gonna like with one of our side quests here that's upcoming. I know we've teased it a little bit. I'm gonna give it a little bit more of a teaser today. Um, we haven't like publicly released anything yet, but you can kind of see if you're following very close, you can see like the Superseed account followed this new Lobsters build, and I encourage everyone watching this to go follow that account because we are going to be coming out with something pretty soon here. So anyone that is making their own agent or and wants to monetize it, we've got something coming up for you. And even if you aren't on the technical side and you maybe don't know how to set up your own agent but want to, we're going to be able to help with that also. And maybe you just want to bet on other agents and not set up your own, we've got something for you too. So we've got a little bit something for everybody. So definitely encourage you to go follow this account because it's going to start producing content pretty quick. And if you're watching us on the live stream here, you get a little bit of alpha. So yeah, appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Stay tuned, Lobsters build.
Stay tuned.
At least for the little logo, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I don't know if you have any other things to wrap up there, but like yeah, the summary is like stay tuned. A lot of like exploits happening, but there's also a lot of learnings happening from these exploits, and we're learning a lot. And to give a little bit of an update, this is again why things have been a little bit delayed on our strategy marketplace money market that's coming out. We're taking security very seriously, and you can see the reason why for that. So we're learning a lot from this. We're updating our systems, updating our development. We've also got this side quest in development. So a lot of things to be excited about that are coming soon here. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned, guys. Beautifully put.
Thanks for coming out. We will see you on the next one.
Take care, everybody. Peace.